Hey guys, and welcome back to the Data Analyst Portfolio Project Series. In this episode, we're going to take the data that we have worked on so far in our previous episode and build an interactive marketing analytics dashboard using Power BI. If you haven't watched the previous episodes where we covered the introduction, data extraction and cleaning with SQL, and sentiment analysis with Python, make sure to check those out first. You can find all the links and information in the description below. Let's start pulling some of the data into Power BI and create our data model, measures, and build a dashboard together. Okay, so here you guys can see the dashboard that we are going to make together. Now just a quick walkthrough, we have an overview page with some numbers, conversion data, social media data, customer reviews, and some graphs to support that. A detail page on conversion details, social media details, customer review details. Now, of course, before we can make any of this, we need a data model. We need to get these tables into Power BI. We have got to make some calculations, so we're going to do that. But we'll take it step by step. I'll take you guys through it. Now remember, as you follow along, if you wanted to use different colors, different graphs, different stuff, please feel free. There's no set, rigid stuff here. I'm just taking you guys through how I've done it, and feel free to change it up a little bit. Let's move this one out of the way, and then we can continue on this one. The first thing we have to do is get some data into Power BI. So we'll go to Get Data, and then we will go to SQL Server. Now we're going to pull some data from the same SQL Server that we have worked on in the previous episode. So this is the name of my server, and you are going to use the name of your server. So I'll just go Portfolio Project, Marketing Analytics. So that is the server name. That is the database name. For reference sake, let me show you guys in SQL Server Management Studio. Database name, server name, the ones that you have been doing your queries on top of. We'll click OK. It might ask you to authenticate here. Just use the same authentication type that you have used when you go onto your SQL Server. Most likely you have used Windows authentication. So just do that. It's gonna show these tables. So I'm just gonna check them off and show them to you guys before, what they look like before and after we use the SQL statements that we have created. I'm not gonna fetch the geography data, because if you remember, we get that by combining geography with customers. So we'll take care of all of that here in Power BI. I'll check those off, and I'm gonna load those. They're going to be now loaded into Power BI as is, just as the table was in SQL Server Management Studio before we did any SQL queries on top of those. So it's going to fetch those rows in. You'll see we get some tables here on the right side. We have in the model view, you can see that it has fetched some tables and auto-created some relationships. We're going to break those later and then fix this up a little bit. But we'll go to transform data, and let me pull that down 1 second. There we are. We'll start off with the customer journey table. I have the statement up here. I'm just going to go and get the SQL statement for that. So I will copy that one. And you know what? Just to again show you guys, this is the statement. I just copied the statement that I need for that table. And you can see here on the right side there's a source and a navigation applied steps. So I'm doing this just to show you guys before. You can see the table, it isn't fixed yet. We haven't applied our transformations yet. So you can see the nulls are there, and there's other things that that you'll see in the different tables that we'll fix. You can see the nulls there. The columns that we did in sentiment analysis are not here. Customers is not combined with geography. In the engagement, some of the naming here isn't correct. We haven't filtered out newsletter. View clicks combined isn't split yet. So there are things we need to do. Let's start with the customer journey table. So I'm going to remove this navigation step, which means that we only have left the actual query from the database. I'm going to go here, and then you can see now here I can now go to advanced options, and then I can paste the statements that we have for this table. So when I click OK, it's going to fetch the table again, but now it's going to fetch it with the SQL changes that we had in our query. So you can see now the duration is filled out where it was missing, and you know it looks, you know, the transformations have been applied. So that's great. We can change visit date up here. We can change the date if you want to. You can see there's long decimals. You know, if you set this to a fixed decimal number, or if you want to round it to a whole number, up to you. I'm just going to leave it as is. It doesn't really make a big difference. But we're done with the customer journey table. So the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to rename it to fact customer journey. Great. We have our first fact table. Then I'm going to go back up. I have it up here on my screen. I'm going to copy the statement for the reviews. I'll copy that. I'll go to customer reviews. I'll remove the navigation. Click here, advanced, and I'll paste the SQL statement there. And then it's going to fetch that table, and it's going to fix some of the places where the review text had double spaces. I'll change the review date to date. We have that. Great. Let's go to customers. You can see no geography information. Let me just do this. SQL statement for the customer joined with the geography data. Let's go to source, advanced options, same thing, just copy paste that. You can see now we have the joined table here. No dates, nothing that I need to worry about here. That's good. Before I forget, let's rename this one to fact customer reviews. For the sake of showing you guys, if I click customers there, I can also do it over here. Dim customer. And then we can move that one down. So we have the facts and dims together. Engagement data, where's my statement for that? Let me find it. Reviews, products. This is customer journey, customer reviews. Let me see. Did I open it? I don't think I've opened it. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me fix this real quick. Let me see, where is that statement? It should open any moment now. There we are. This is our engagement data. Let me get that. Remove the navigation step, and then we'll paste this one. Great, now we have that. Let's just make sure the ID, content ID, campaign, product, okay. Text, this is not a text, so we'll change that to a whole number. Clicks, we'll change that to a whole number. Engagement date, we'll change that to a date. Great, we'll change the name to fact engagement data. Perfect. And then we have, at last but not least, we should have our products table. Let me see if I can find that statement. There we are. I'll do the same thing. Oh, that was the wrong one. Let me get that step back in. You can see that I noticed here I removed the wrong steps from the wrong table. Dim products. And then we'll remove the navigation and we'll change it to advanced, and then copy paste the statement for the products. So now we have the different facts, the different customers. That is great. Before I forget, we also need to get some data from the spreadsheet or the CSV file that we have that we created with our sentiment analysis. Let me just make sure that I can find that file. So we'll go to new source, CSV, and I'll go one up. And then you can see here's the CSV for that one. We'll pull that one in. It understands it's a comma separated table. So we'll get that back in there. We can drag it up here, fact customer reviews with sentiment. Here the spaces have not been removed. So I'm going to click this one. And this is just an example of, you can also do transformations and stuff in Power BI, but it's best to do it on SQL side or in a transformation tool, depending on where you work and how things are. But it is possible to do a lot of stuff here also. I'm gonna just click a double space and then replace it with one space. Okay, and it's gonna add that step there. You can see here on the right side, it adds steps as you do transformations. Last thing is we hit close and apply. And now you can see on the right side, the table names are going to change, and we're going to get the results from the changes that we have made into Power BI when we want to work on things. Before we can start with the calculations, we also need to go to the model view. Let me just delete this ones because I want to show you guys how to do this from the beginning, and so that it makes sense for you guys. So we'll delete these. Let's just do that. It is possible to turn off so it doesn't do this automatically for you. It's in the options. Look it up. I'm not gonna show you guys right now, but we'll take the customers table, the products table, and we'll put the dimensions on top, and we'll have these fact tables at the bottom, and then we can start to create relationships. So you can see we have customer ID. We'll grab this one and drag it down there. And now this is important. The relationship is a single way, and it's a one-to-many. For each one entry in the customers table, there are many entries in the fact table, because one customer can have created different rows in the fact table. So it's a one-to-many. So I'll click save on that. You can see it's a one number, direction, many. Same with customer ID, one-to-many. And then we have, do we have customer ID in this one? No, we don't. Here we have customer ID, so we'll drag it there. Same thing, one-to-many. And then we have product ID. Let's find that. Take the product ID and we'll put it there. One-to-many on that one. Then it's a same here, one-to-many on that one. Okay, so product ID we have in all tables, which means we can connect this dimension to all of our facts. All of our calculations can be filtered on products, is basically what this means. Product ID. Okay, great. So what we are missing though is, let me see if I can find it, is we need a date table. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. There is a script for that which will generate a date table for you. So what we'll do is we will do a new table, and you can see now it up here you can add the name. So we'll just call it calendar, and then I'm gonna paste the script. I'll pause it a little bit if you guys want to see what the script looks like. Sorry, or else I'll also make sure I add it on GitHub in one of the files there, so you guys can also just copy paste it. But just to explain what it does, it creates a table where it takes a range of dates, which is defined up here, and then it's gonna format all those ranges into different types. So we have date as integer, year, month, year, month number, year, month short, day of week, etc., etc., etc. It's going to create a bunch of columns which you can use to connect to these tables, and then you have a date dimension table also. So I'll hit enter on that. You can see we got a calendar here now. We have a date. We'll take that date, let me find, and we'll connect it to visit date. Same thing. There's one date in the calendar table, which can be connected to many rows with the same date, one-to-many. Date to review date, date to engagement date, and at last but not least, we have date to review date. So now we have a data model. Now you can see that we have X number of tables up here, which is filtering down on our facts. And the next step is we're going to go back to the report view, and we are going to create some calculations so that we can start to create visualizations. So the first thing that I like to do, I like to create a specific measures table for that. So I'll just go underscore calculations and I will load that. Now notice, you can see, maybe it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see the icon here is a table icon. This is a calculated table icon. There's a small calculator in front of the table. And on this one, there's just one column. And I have the calculations up here, so I'm just gonna refer to that on this this other screen. I'll type them out for you guys as we go. We can add one called, let's just call it clicks. So I'll go new measure, and then it's gonna ask me for that one. So I'll go clicks, and then sum of clicks, which is a column in the fact engagement data table. I'll hit the enter. And now notice, you can see there's a calculator icon on this one. If I right click, I delete column 1 from this one. Now there's only calculations in that table. It changes icon to a calculator icon, which, you know, it becomes a calculation table or a measure table, as we like to call it. So we have clicks. If we drag out a card, I can drag clicks onto the field for that, and you can see there. And you can see there that I have done something wrong. There is one column here which I think I haven't changed the type on. So we'll go to transform. Let me see if I can find this one. This must be on engagement. Where is clicks? You can see here it's a I thought I changed these, but no. Okay, clicks is a whole number, views is a whole number. Another one which would have caused some issues. Let's go back. Let's check now. Close and apply. Does it fix it? Does it fix it? Yes, it does. So it was a text format. It should have been a number format. You can't summarize, you know, letters. So I had to change it to an integer, to a whole number. So that works. It's great. If we drag out year, let me see if I can just get that as a slicer instead, and then we can change it to let's see, slicer settings, drop down. Now you can see when I hit that, the KPI over here changes, which is good. It tells me there's a relationship between the date table and the engagement table. So that's good. So then we can add the other calculations. Now let me see, what do I have? I have one for conversion rate. Let's do likes first. So we're gonna do likes equals sum of. And you know, if you're unsure as you go, if you have forgotten to set the right format, you can always add them and just, you know, check as you go. It's also totally fine. And let's go, we can go number of campaigns. I think this is a distinct count. Let me just double check so I don't do anything wrong. Yes. Distinct count, and then we have campaign ID. We have that one. Oh, typo. There we are. We can add that. We can just replace this one. Then we get that. Then we have a number of customer journeys. Copy paste that one. It's another distinct count. We have number of customer reviews. You can see that. That's fine. Rating, which is an average. You can see, I like to click and right click and go new measure in the table where I want to put it. You can also go up here, go new measure, and then this time it's average of the rating column to get the average rating. Let me see, we have views. So let's go views equals sum of views. So that's it's also fine. Great. Then we have one which is a little bit more complex, and I will break it down for you guys. So we'll go new measure. It is a conversion rate. Actually, we just start like this. Okay. So this one is a little bit different than the ones that you have seen so far. What this one does, it combines a calculate function with some variables. So you can see there's a variable, total visitors, where you calculate the number of journey IDs that have viewed, that created a view. That's how many actually visited and had a view. Then you have how many actually purchased, how many customer journeys led to a purchase. And then I'm just saying that if the total visitors equals 0, then just replace it with 0, just to show a 0 in wherever I use this measure. Otherwise, divide total purchases by total visitors. And when I'm dividing here, I'm referring to these variables that have been defined up there. So that one is a little more complex than the other ones. This is DAX. It can get quite complicated, but I've decided to choose some of the simpler ones now, just so that everyone can follow along and we can get through this together. So now we have calculations, we have a data model, and we are ready to start to build some of the parts of the dashboard. So what I like to do is I like to start and just put a nice text box on top, just to give it the page a name. I'm just gonna name it overview. I like to get this one a little bit bigger, maybe bold it. This is the part where you can decide a little bit for yourself how you want this to look, but this is how I like to do it. I'll select the background. Let me see if I can go over here to the format pane, canvas background, and then select gray and put it to 50, so that I get some separation between elements on the canvas and the actual canvas itself. It's just a personal preference. Then I'm going to add a slicer so we can filter different parts, and I want to filter on product name. So I will add that here, and then I will go up here. You can click here, add data. I know that you can do it here if you want to. I'm just used to going to the search and searching for the stuff that I want. So it's somewhat of a habit, but of course you can also just go here and then add data and then search for it here. It's totally up to you guys what you guys prefer. I need to actually add it. Let me make sure it's selected. There, add data, and there we are. We have a drop down, so I can select different parts and then filter the whatever I put on the canvas, basically. So we had 3 different parts. We had conversion, social media, and customer reviews. So I'll add a text box. I'll write conversion, and then I will put that. Let's see. I will put that one. I'll put that one. Give it some space, maybe something like that, and then put it in the middle. Pull it down a little bit. I like to make some separation, so I'll put it right next to it and shift and right, one to the right, and I get that. We can even make it smaller, to be honest. So we have the conversion section. Oh. And then we can have social media. Let me put that there. Social media. And we will move that down there. Maybe one more. Great. And then we had customer reviews. And that's what's good, is that when you have the data model, you have the measures, then things starts to go a little bit quicker. So customer reviews. Great. And we can add a card for the conversion rate. So I'll put that same size, one to the right. I'll find my measure. I'll go to calculations, conversion rate. You can see that it is a rate like that. If you want to, you can click it, change it to percentage. If you want to show it as a percentage, also totally fine. And then I'm gonna select it, Control C, Control V, put it under here, and then I will add 3 boxes for views, and let me see, make sure I have enough room. So you can see it's a little bit big now, and I've done this on purpose because I want to show you guys something. We'll go to format and we'll go to callout value. We'll put it to, let's say we put it to 30, a little bit smaller. And we can put the label to 10. And to not have to redo this over and over and over, we can now go to format painter. We can just paint onto it. And I can see it's still a little bit big, but it's fine because I'm going to change it. And then we'll have one down here, which is rating. Tell you what, I'll just do it like this. I think it'll be fine. I might change it later. Let's see. So now everyone says conversion rate. Let's find, we have views. Click this one. I'll add it there. And we'll fix that also in a moment. Clicks. Great. Likes. Perfect. And then rating. Oh, make sure we activate this one. And rating. Great. So these ones still a little bit too big. Let's go 25. Better. Let's go 20. Oh, let me try 20. That's fine. Display units, none. Okay, format painter. We get the same effect. Great. The decimals on these ones are, it's hard to read the numbers as is. So we'll go to views here. We'll add here, we'll add a 1000 separator on these ones. Easier to read, so we'll go there. Same on the likes. Now I can already see that these are values for all years, so we need to fix that. So we'll add a slicer. Let me find it here, and we'll take the year into that. We'll change it to a tile. Great. Let's turn the slicer header off. Put it like this. Can make it nice and small. And then we'll take that and we'll add month name short onto that one. You can see it's sorted a little bit weirdly, but let's start by clicking 2024. That's good. It's working so far, so good. We can go to month name short here, sort by column, and then you find month number. It's going to sort it, as the numbers, January number 1, February 2, March, etc., 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. Okay, good. So we have some KPIs. We can click around. Things are starting to happen. We can click over here. You can see there is interaction. Now we have calculations. We're starting to get a layout. We can start to add some visualizations. So we'll take conversion rate. I'm going to show you some different ways to create visualizations now. I'll go Control C, Control V. So we double it, make some room for it. And then I'll click over here to a line chart. You can always go here also, and you can change it here to a line chart if you want to. But we need to add a month name. So I'll search for month name short because we need to have it across some sort of axis. Let me make sure I have this selected on the x-axis. Then we get this part. Great. Control C, Control V. Go back in. I'll change this to let's try a clustered column chart now. And then we can find the product name, and we remove that and we add that instead. Okay, it's a little bit tight, so maybe we can make it a little bit smaller. Let's give it a little bit more room. The x-axis, let's give it some more space for the labels. It's still a little bit tight, but it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just have to go with that for now. Down here we have views, clicks, and likes. So we'll go Control C. Actually, this one I'll just show you guys from scratch. You can go to build over here. You can right click, go add visual, and then just you'll get a slot for the visual right away. you click line chart, and then you can go on the x-axis. I know we want month name short. On the y-axis, we want some calculations. So we can go clicks, likes, and views. That will give us those over time. And then let me see. This is fine. It's a little bit hard to see the months. We're gonna clean this up a little bit. Just give me a little bit of time here. Let me see. Make sure I do this the right way. If we put this one over here, okay, that gives us those. We can go to the legend. We can turn off the title. We don't need that. This is fine. Let's just do some small changes now. Let's make the title a little bit smaller. It's a little bit big. If you want to, you can turn on the data labels. You can get a little bit noisy, but okay, let's keep it like that for now. On this one, I'll turn the labels off. I'm gonna sort it ascending instead. I think that's better. Again, we need to turn off the title. I think that's a little bit more room at least. Okay, I think that's fine. Like I said, there's no, there's no 100% right answer here. You guys can also play around a little bit, get a bit of feel for how it is to work in this, and pay attention as you go to how you shape it. We're gonna have views. Then it's going to go to clicks, and then how many likes we get. You can see here we need to do something with the labels because you can't read that. So we'll go data value and percentage of first. And then let me see if I can figure this out. Category labels, those are fine. Let's see, conversion rates. They also look fine. There we are. That's the values display in none. Okay, that gives us the actual values also, so that's good. Okay, so we have views, clicks, likes. We can see some of the conversion that goes down on that also. Last but not least, we will go to, let's see, we will go to this section, which is ratings. So I'm just gonna grab the same graph, remove conversion rate, and then add ratings average to see that over time. And same as this one, I'm gonna apply some changes. Let's see if we can get some space for this one. It's just a little bit too tight. Let's just remove this. So we give it a little bit more space. Give me one moment. Okay, we'll pull that over there. We'll move you over here. There we are, and that should be enough. Okay, and then at last I had ratings. Bar chart, and then I believe I have product name is what I think I have over here. Which is also, it's also quite tight for the names, and that's what happens when we get more and more elements on here. Of course, we could go in. You can play around with some of the sizes on the x-axis. You can make it a little bit smaller. Same on the y-axis, on the values. Just to see if you can squeeze out a little bit of space there. You can give the labels more space also. That's also, doable, but it is going to be a little bit tight when you look at a whole year. But if you go in and select 1 month, it becomes a little bit easier. Let's also make sure we sort this one ascending. And then where you want to, you can turn on labels if you would like that. So already we have quite a bit going on here. You can go and you can select your product name. You can see how that filters down. You can select it's 1 month, or hold control and select 3 months. You can see how that filters down. There's quite a bit of insights and flexibility already here just by creating this first overview page. And what I like to do is I like to now go from an overview page into more detailed pages so we can drill into certain parts. So the next one that we had is conversion details. So you can see here it's just the conversion rate, and then just spread out on some other factors, and I just restructure it a little bit just to just focus in on one thing. So this is the finished version that I have, and we can do the same thing. So what I like to do, I like to duplicate the page so I don't have to recreate everything. I'll give it a new name, conversion details. Give it a new name up here, conversion details. And then I can start to remove things I don't need on this one. So we can remove this one, can remove that one. We can also select and remove several. So what I would do here is I would give this one a little bit more space, and we just change it like this. Let's make sure that we have it the other way. And then we can turn on the data labels. Now you have a lot more space. So we can see them now nice and clear. Let's make them a little bit smaller. They're still quite big. I think that's fine. And the last thing I had is I had the, let me see, I had one. I can remove this one. I'm gonna get in the conversion rate here. I will, let me see, I gotta make some room for that other graph. Like this. Still want to make sure we have enough room for that. That's good. I'll move you over here. And then I had conversion rate per product. So I just grab the measure. I change it to a matrix so you can see the value still has conversion rate. So I'm trying to just work as efficiently as possible here. Product name, that gives us that. We have it sorted by the conversion rate up there. That's good. Month name short. We can add that to columns, and we'll see that spread out. You can see the table becomes a little bit wide now because we have a lot of decimals. So we can go to conversion rate. Do we need 2 decimals? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to take it down 1 notch. You can even take it down a full and just keep the full percentages. Now you can see we have more space. Depends on the requirement and what you think makes sense. Maybe 1 decimal is good to have. And then we want to take a look at how many customer journeys have been taken through different took different actions as they convert down. So we'll add this funnel graph. Just put them next to each other, and then let's see if we have enough space. We have number of customer journeys on the values. Action, what action did they take in their customer journey? You can see that it breaks down. I like this type of graph when we're looking at conversion. I think it shows it in a smart and easy way. That was not what I was hoping for. It fixed a little bit, and it also messed up some other parts. Let me see, data labels, values, 15, not even 10. Much better. And then data value and percentage of first, and 1 decimal place is good enough. Actually, let's keep that one at, there we are. That's better. Great. So now we have our first detail page. It focuses a little more on the conversion rates. So you can go in and you can see more details on different elements if you're interested in that. The next part is going to be a social media details page. So then we will, I'm actually going to duplicate the first page so that I don't have to redo too much stuff. The social media details, we will go in, we'll remove some of this stuff. I will keep Let me see, I'll keep this one, that one, and this one. I'm actually gonna remove this one. You can keep it, hey, keep it if you want. I'm gonna move this one over here. And then we'll add one more, which is similar, but I'm gonna change it to a clustered column chart. And then instead of having clicks and links, I think I'm gonna go, actually we'll keep views. And then we will add content type. So now we can see clicks and likes and view over time, and we can also see views within the different types of contents over time. You know, another thing that I think is good. Then I wanted to create one table which shows, it's a little bit similar to this one. So I'm going to go back and grab this table, Control C, Control V, get that in here. And I'm going to focus a little bit on views to understand which products are getting a lot of views. So let me just move this one up there. Let's just adjust a little bit like that. And we'll remove conversion rate. And for the sake of the exercise, I'll go over here, add data and values, calculations, and we'll go views. It will show number of views per product over time. We can sort it by the total to see the product that gets the highest views. And then if we find content type, then we can add that as a row here. So you can go into different products and look at within the different within the different products, how did it perform in different content types. If you want to, you can even change the views to be a percentage, either of the row that it's on or in the column total. So, you know, if you have 100% down here in January, in baseball glove, you know, how much did that make up of the 100% or other ways that you want to do it. It's just for me to show you guys some of the different possibilities here. But we'll keep it like this. Right click, condition formatting, background color. Lower values, we can give that red. Higher values, we can make that, you know, blue. Add a middle color, which is actually, let's find a green color for higher. Something like that. So now you can see that the higher numbers, they get a green value, and the lower they get a red. So if you go in and you select May, then you can try to, or I mean, it's easy if you have 1 month, but if you have 2 or 3 months, then you can see how it changes a little bit to show, you know, which are doing very well and which are doing not so good. And even if you expand, then you can see within different product names which content types have done good within those products. So it's just me once again just trying to show you guys some different possibilities. Please play around. Please try, you know, shape this however you would like to. The last page is customer review details. So we'll go in here and we will go customer review. And before I forget, I don't think, yep, we have the social media details. Go here, customer review details. Perfect. And the KPI there was the average rating. So now I'm just going to pull them in one by one, just to show you guys how that is done. Yes, it takes a little bit more time, but it's nothing too crazy. We'll make this one a little bit smaller, and we can see that we have. Let me think. I'm trying to look up here at the same time while I'm working down here. Number of customers per rating, and this is where the sentiment part is going to come in a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys why, you know, how that creates value here. But we need to measure number of customers. Let me just make sure I have customer reviews actually. Yes. there on the y-axis. And then we're gonna have the rating score on the x-axis. Let me make sure I have this right. This one, it's because I built a measure on this rating, not this one, and we have two. There we are. And then we need to make sure that it treats the x-axis, since it's a number, as a categorical. That looks better. Let's make it a little bit larger. Great. Sort ascending, and then we can turn on the detail labels. So this is basically telling us how many people gave different scores. Make sure you sort it by the rating, by the way. Yes. So, you know, 26 gave a 1, 27 gave a 57, 33 gave an 88, etc. Let's just grab some of the formatting from this one, so we don't have to redo that. And then, which means I need to turn on data labels again, but that's done quickly. Sorry about that. There we are. So that tells one side of the story. Now that we have the sentiment also, we can go in and we can take one of the columns that we created in the sentiment analysis. So you can see now we have, let's just check this. This is the sentiment, I think it's the sentiment category. Yes. So we'll do the same thing, sort this one, and we'll sort it ascending. So you can see that even if 88 gave a 3, you can see there's some mixed sentiment within those 88. The positive ones were, you know, mostly, of course, positive. The 82, the 82 negative, you know, there's degrees of negativity. So the sentiment gives a little more insight into that part. So I think that's a very nice way of kind of, like I said, enriching the data with a different perspective without really changing, you know, what we are calculating or how we're doing it. We're just adding some more value to the data so we can get a different aspect and understand it a little bit better. So I think this shows a little bit of the value of doing that. Then we can take the sentiments and we can see how they've developed over time. So we'll have that. We'll change it to a line chart. I'm gonna look for month name short, add that to the x-axis, and then we'll take the sentiment category and add that to the legend, and you can see how the sentiments have changed over time. And then we had one table which gives some details on the different customer reviews which were given. So we'll give that some space. Let me just fix that. So the fields that I added there was that was review date. So we can go review date, and then we have the customer ID, the review text, the sentiment category that it falls within, and the review, I believe the reviews rating, of course. And we can turn off the summary. We don't need it to summarize that, so don't summarize. And then give it a little bit more space. That should be good. Do we have enough room? Let's keep it like that. Instead, we can try to see if we can go to the presets. We can go play around. Let's put it to minimal. I think maybe if we make the values a little bit smaller, we'll have enough room. What this means, you can go in, you can select a rating, and you can see all the different comments that are under that rating. Now, what is maybe more interesting is to go in and look at the negative or the mixed negative or mixed positive, to maybe contact those and see if we can do something about that. You can see it is also increasing, so that's something that we want to take note of. Just some different ways to showcase this data. Let's also give this label a little bit more room. So so we can see it fully. So now you can read it fully. That's good. And the last one that I want to show you guys is a little bit more advanced, but we'll add a scatter chart here. We'll put the average rating that was given. We'll put that on the x-axis, and then we will see, you know, how many customer reviews do we get per different types of ratings. So we'll put that on the y-axis. Now, of course, this just becomes the intersection of both of this. But if you add the customer ID on this one, then it spreads out a little bit. Now, because there's just a lot of dots there right now, if we then add, let me show you guys, if we add the customer, let me find it, the sentiment category as the legend, you can now see that it starts to break into different, almost like different clusters. Let me just grab this format painter and add that formatting. And then you can start to see, you know, how many customer IDs do we have per different, let's call it, it's almost like average or rating groups, just to see where do the different reviews actually fall. And another thing that I did is that I took let me make sure I do this correctly, based on number of customer reviews. I want the size to be based on that also, so that it's easier for you to understand. So basically, it's the bigger the marker, the more customer reviews came in on that point. So it's a little bit more of a advanced visualization, if you can call it that. Let me see if I can give this legend some more, so we can actually see it. Now we can see it. Let's do it also here. Now we can read them fully. Okay. But what we're seeing is that you have different ratings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then upwards is how many, how many gave, how many on this rating did you have in customer reviews. So of course you want as many as possible here on the right side and towards the upper side. These are the ones that are an average, and these ones that are down left are the ones that you wanna try and catch and do something about. So to go in and see, okay, if I click this dot, which reviews were that? If I click this one, which reviews were that? Click this one, which reviews were that? That's some parts that you can do to kind of see it in a little bit of a different visual way. Another thing that we can look at is that you can also use these slicers and go in, and then you can add the sentiment category if you want to. Category onto this one, so that if you want to focus on only one sentiment category, okay, who were the positive ones, who were neutral, who were negative, mixed positive, mixed negative, maybe those are the ones that you think you can turn, and we can also add that as a slicer and go into those details. So that is how I created the customer reviews details. So now it's up to you guys, try to look at the video, play around, create the measures, create the data model, pull it in, and then take a look at what I've done, take some inspiration from that, and then try to do this for yourself. I will upload the finished Power BI desktop file on GitHub. The blank one I think you guys can make yourself. I will add the script for the date table. I'll add that on GitHub so you can see that also. Of course, even though if I upload these sources, I highly recommend that you guys use this to practice, test, adapt it a little bit the way you want to do it, so that you get some of that practice and you get some of that first hands-on experience on how to build a interactive dashboard in Power BI. That's it for our episode on building a marketing analytics dashboard with Power BI. In the next episode, we're going to focus on presenting some of the insights using PowerPoint, where you'll learn more about how to effectively communicate your findings to stakeholders. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the updates in the series. If you have any questions or thoughts, then leave a comment below and I will get back to you guys there. Other than that, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in the next episode.